Okay, so hello everybody. Today I wanted to talk about leveraging the power of a new month. And as you'll know, more often than not, I speak primarily about business related stuff, but today's topic actually can be applied to anybody in any environment, whether you're in business, whether you're an employee, whether at home. It's essentially the start of new beginnings. We've obviously been through quite a lot over the last few years. And in the UK, we are, if you like, kids have just returned to school or are about to return to school in some instances. And so this is a time of reflection, and often September is a good month to start doing that. We've finished our summer holidays when in normal times, etc. So there are 4 areas that I wanted to talk about: planning, dealing with overwhelm, how to network and collaborate, and then finally how to seek inspiration. I'll go through each of these. Obviously, we are live and interactive. If you are watching this and you have any comments or questions, please feel free to drop them in the box below or on the side, or however this all works. But anyway, so let's start talking about planning. As a former project manager, you will appreciate that I love a plan, and I encourage people to write plans. You don't need to be a project manager to write a plan, but you need to start thinking about the length of time that you're kind of planning for. In business, we will maybe plan for a quarter. We may only plan for the next month. So think about that. Think about the things that are achievable. Think in particular, given what we're currently going through, it may be that short-term planning is better because we don't actually know where we're going to be at the end of this year, at the beginning of next year. So let's think about manageable chunks. Think about achievements. What do we want to achieve, and what are those things that we want to do? But most importantly, and as many of you will know who I speak to regularly, if you don't write it down, it is not real. It'll sit inside your head and will not be something that you can actually focus on. It's not tangible. So write things down. I would encourage everybody to write things down. Use a book, use a planner, use the computer, whatever works for you, use that. I'm not a stickler for any particular mechanism. What I then find from people who I speak to is by going through that process of planning, they start to become overwhelmed. They start to think about all of those things that they need to do, and that then leads to procrastination. So let's talk about overwhelm and dealing with overwhelm. So first of all, we need to prioritize. So think about the plan and think about what are those priority things within the plan that we should go about and do. Let's create a list of things and actions and activities that we need to deal with. Let's also, however, think about the things that we have already achieved as the month goes by. We need to be thinking in bite-sized chunks, but also think about the accomplishments that you have made and the strides that you've made through the month. So write down, I've spoken previously on one of an earlier video about a well done list. So think about that. Recognize the things that you've achieved, because that will give you confidence and the momentum and the belief to continue. So in summary, for overwhelming, let's talk about prioritization. Let's think about the things that we need to do. Let's create that task list and let's strike things off that task list. Let's focus on the things that we've done already, the things that we've done well, and they don't have to be about business, as I keep reminding you. It could be that you've spent time with the children. It could be that you've dropped them to school. It could be that you read a book. Whatever it is, think about those kind of things. The next thing around overwhelm is there are a lot of distractions out there, and I will be the first to admit that I'm a member of a number of different groups on Facebook, on LinkedIn, on WhatsApp, on social media. I have however many different channels of engagement, and so you'll need to prioritize and you'll need to see where you should be removing distraction, because often that can also lead to overwhelm. That can often bring you down because you've suddenly got to deal with all of these other things and other new ideas. The third thing I would do around overwhelm is around accountability. We get things done when other people know that we are going to do it. Hence why accountability is so powerful. When people work with me on a one-to-one basis, they're accountable to me. So when I'm having my fortnightly check-in or weekly check-in with them, I'm holding them accountable. It's up to them whether they do the work. That I can't change that. But having someone accountable more often than not makes you do things. People go to the gym when they have a buddy, right? Things like that. So think about that. Think of somebody who you can hold you accountable, maybe you can hold them accountable. At least you will start to take those steps forward and start to move forward. We are talking about leveraging the power of a new month and new opportunities. So it would be remiss of me to not speak about networking and collaboration opportunities. If you are not out there openly seeking opportunities and networking, meeting different people, you will not be able to see what opportunities lie out there. You will not be able to see partnership opportunities, collaboration opportunities, etc. So you need to decide within yourself how you're going to do that. And that equally applies at home, right? There could be friends of yours who you've not been in touch with, who you can speak to, who suddenly will say, well, actually, I've just done this. Why don't you think about doing this? So let's think about that. Let's think about where we can network with, where we can collaborate with. Maybe there are groups and things that we've been meaning to do for such a long time, but by going along and attending an event virtually or physically, depending on where you are in the world, you'll be able to then you'll be able to grasp and see network opportunities. Finally, inspiration. Where do you find your inspiration? What is it that lights you up? Is it a podcast? Is it watching something, a documentary, watching the news, watching Netflix, whatever it is? Where are you getting inspiration from? And that inspiration doesn't have to necessarily be from your sector or from your particular life. It could be a new hobby. It could be, as I said, a new group. It could be a podcast. It could be books. It could be reading. It could be Audible. There are a whole host of places where you can seek inspiration. What I'm saying to you, I guess, is with where you're finding inspiration will allow you to uncover and unpick opportunities. That will help you then to come up with plans that are more, that will lead you to somewhere new, to somewhere different. But again, remember, let's deal with the overwhelm as well. So that's all I wanted to say. It's a very short video, deliberately, because I don't want to overwhelm you in the same voice. If you have any comments or any feedback, please feel free to drop me a note. You know where I am. I'm always here for you guys. If you want me to help you with accountability, I'm more than happy to be an accountability buddy to you. So get in touch. But otherwise, I look forward to staying in touch, and I look forward to finding out what you've done in September and how you've achieved and how you've moved forward. So please feel free to let me know as well. Thanks very much, everybody. Have a wonderful day.